When the king betrayed him, he died. Or at least, everyone thought he did. In the grand kingdom of Elendor, there was a young knight named Kael. Born into poverty, he defied all odds, rising through the ranks to become the most trusted warrior in the entire royal army. Kael was the definition of loyalty, honesty, and fearlessness. He would have gladly laid down his life for his king. And as it turned out, that's exactly what the king wanted. During a fierce battle against a group of rebels, the king issued a secret command to his most loyal general: ensure Kael does not return alive. The order was carried out without question. In the heat of the fight, a sudden rain of arrows fell not on the enemy, but on Kael. His own comrades turned their blades on him, stabbing him and leaving him for dead on the blood-soaked battlefield. From his high tower, the king watched and smiled, whispering to himself, "One less threat to my throne." But Kael didn't die. He awoke in a dark, underground chamber. The first thing he saw was the face of a hooded woman leaning over him. Her name was Lyra, and she was a member of the Shadowborn, a mythical clan that everyone believed had been wiped out by the king years ago. She revealed the sickening truth to Kael. The king had grown terrified of Kael's rising popularity. The common people adored him, respected him, and saw him as a true hero, far more than they did their own ruler. The king saw this not as a strength for the kingdom, but as a direct threat to his power. So he had him removed. Lyra then offered Kael a choice. "Return to your king," she said, her voice echoing in the chamber, "or rise with us and take back everything he stole from you." Kael's hands clenched into tight fists, his knuckles turning white with rage. The memory of the betrayal burned in his mind. "I will return," he declared, his voice low and dangerous, but not as his knight. Kael began his training with the Shadowborn clan. They taught him forbidden arts that had been lost to the world for centuries. He learned the art of shadow manipulation, bending darkness to his will. He mastered silent killing techniques, becoming a ghost on the battlefield. Most importantly, he learned a rare and powerful ability known as shade fusion, the power to merge completely with darkness and strike with a speed that defied human sight. With every passing night, Kael grew stronger. With every memory of the king's cold smile and his soldiers' betrayal, his rage became a finely honed weapon. Lyra watched his transformation, offering a solemn warning. "Once you walk the path of vengeance, there's no turning back." Kael's response was a chilling whisper. "I turned back the moment he tried to kill me." If you're enjoying this transformation, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Kael is about to confront the king, and all hell is about to break loose. A dark and unnatural storm began to brew over the kingdom of Elendor. As rain lashed down, the guards at the main gate saw a lone, hooded figure approaching. One of the guards, arrogant and overconfident, laughed and shouted, "Identify yourself." Just then, a brilliant flash of lightning illuminated the sky, and the figure lifted his head. It was Kael. The guard's face turned deathly pale, his laughter dying in his throat. This can't be. You're supposed to be dead." Before he could even raise an alarm, Kael vanished into the shadows. One by one, the guards fell, their lives extinguished without ever seeing their attacker move. Kael walked silently through the castle grounds, his destination clear. "Tonight," he vowed, "the king answers for everything." Inside the magnificent throne room, the king was in a state of sheer panic. Reports were flooding in, each more terrifying than the last. "Your Majesty, he's back. Kael is alive," one messenger cried. Another stumbled in, trembling. "The shadows, they're killing our soldiers. We can't stop them." The king's carefully constructed mask of power shattered into a million pieces. He screamed at his guards, his voice filled with terror. "Kill him. Find him and kill him before he reaches me." But it was already too late. In an instant, every torch and candle in the grand hall was extinguished, plunging the room into absolute darkness. A single figure stepped out of the shadows. It was Kael. The king stumbled backward, tripping over his own robes in his haste to get away. You should have died," he shrieked. Kael's voice was as cold as the grave he was meant to be in. "Believe me, I wanted to." In a desperate act, the king summoned his elite royal knights, the best swordsmen in the kingdom. They charged at Kael, but it was useless. He moved like a phantom, a living nightmare. Shadows merged with his strikes, each movement a deadly dance. Within seconds, every single knight lay motionless on the floor. The king, with trembling hands, grabbed his own sword from its scabbard. He swung wildly, a desperate, clumsy attack. Kael didn't even flinch. He caught the razor-sharp blade between two fingers, stopping it effortlessly. He leaned in close to the terrified king and whispered, "This is for the people you destroyed." With that, Kael unleashed a powerful burst of shadow energy that shook the very foundations of the throne room. The king was thrown across the hall, crashing to the floor, utterly defeated. Kael stood over the broken king, but he didn't deliver the killing blow. Instead, he turned his gaze toward the empty throne. Just then, Lyra and the rest of the Shadowborn clan entered the room, their presence filling the hall with silent power. The king, seeing them, began to beg for his life. "Please spare me. I'll give you anything." Kael looked down at him, his eyes completely devoid of emotion. "Your reign ends today," he said, his voice resonating with authority. "Mine begins now." He walked to the dais and sat upon the throne, dark shadows swirling around him like a royal cloak. And on that day, the kingdom of Elendor witnessed the birth of a new king. A king who was forged by betrayal, strengthened by shadows, and reborn for revenge. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more recaps.